3 hours later.
Thank you for sitting through that cringy intro. Cringe-tro? And welcome to a Borderlands 3 inspired video. Well, I guess technically it would be Borderlands 2 since I'm shooting this before Borderlands 3 officially comes out, and I don't know if there's an infinity pistol in 3. I do, however, know that there's one in 2. Having said that, let's get something out of the way before we get started with this video. This infinity pistol is not of my design. It looks like the original design was D. Plumley, or at least that's whom I got it from, and I will leave a link in the description below to the Thingiverse page that I got the STL files from. The process from there was to print it out, sand it, and paint it, and then from there it's pretty much put it together. So first step is that we need to 3D print the pieces. Let's get started on that, shall we? So now that the pieces have been 3D printed, and I do apologize for you only being able to see about half of them printing. I was using a Yi action camera for my time lapse and it just went kaput on me about halfway through. So I only got half of them, but you get the idea. Now the next step is going to be to sand and paint it, and then I'll put it together. Follow me. So as you saw there, I sanded the print down to the best of my ability, and then I glued the pieces together. There were some gaps in some of the places in the print, due to the way that it printed mostly, and I decided to print this on its side, as you saw in that part, so that it would be easier to print, and also so I wouldn't have layer lines going like this. They would go like this, which would make the print more structurally sound. Not that it really needed to be all that much, but you know, always think about these things when you're going to 3D print something. So my next step is to put on my best Bob Ross wig and paint this sucker up. Finally finished. The Slag Infinity Pistol, and not a moment too soon. I've been working on this thing for about 3 months, and it's been mostly just the last 3 months of work crammed into about 3 weeks. Now, to my knowledge, there's not a Slag Infinity Pistol in Borderlands 2, but this is actually a gift for a friend, and his favorite colors are black and purple, so Slag. And I took those and 3D printed them, and I was going to put it together, and originally I wanted to put an electric motor in it so that these barrels here could actually spin around when it was shooting and you could like pull the trigger and stuff. Ultimately that didn't work out because the stock here isn't actually wide enough for me to hollow out a cavity and put a motor in, and any motor that I could use would either be wildly expensive or too small for it to run like a bar through and then turn these barrels, because they're heavier than they look. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was also Mr. D. Plumley's intention as well, but he ended up running into some issues or something like that and just designed it hollow, and then didn't really have time to design it around the any electric motors or anything like that. So it didn't go quite as planned, but I do still think it turned out pretty darn cool. I mean, you got the, you know, the purple for the slag, and as you saw, I went through and painted this, and then I actually went back and got Plinky to fix it where I am horrible at painting with acrylics, and I've never painted with an acrylic before, so I was trying to do it just in one thick coat, and then it didn't work out that well because it was kind of thin and not really good. But she went through and blended the colors and made everything more even and nice, and added some more detail and some color depth there, fixed where I kind of globbed it on in here, and now it looks super nice. And I, for one, would be very proud to have this on my showcase. Once again though, this one's not going to me, that one's going to a friend. In the future, I would also like to print another one when I'm so much better at Fusion 360. I would like to print another one and model it around the electric motor that I have and things that I actually can put in it, so I can make one where the barrels move and maybe make a sound as it goes or something like that. Super nice. And I think that that'll be really nice to have. So there it is after a long time in the works. This is the other side. It has also been, like I said, it took quite a while and there were quite a few setbacks. We had my 3D printer messed up twice trying to print this thing. One was a wiring issue, the other one was just a clogged nozzle, and I had to wait for the nozzles to get here, and then I went to take the time lapse of it, and my Yi action camera that I was using for the time lapse actually crapped out on me about halfway through. So you only got half of the time lapses, which I think I may have mentioned earlier in the video, but I mean, all in all, you get the idea. And then from there, it was just to sand it, put it together, and then paint it. If I had it to do over again, I would A, design it myself, B, paint it before putting it together, and C, maybe do a few practice paints before just jumping straight in on the final project and expecting it to be okay. But all in all, it worked out, and I do hope you enjoyed this Borderlands 3 inspired video. I say that even though I'm not sure that there's going to be an Infinity Pistol in 3, but I know there was one in 2, and hey, I'm shooting this before 3 came out to begin with, so hopefully it drops on the day that Borderlands 3 drops, and I'm going to be playing quite a bit of Borderlands 3 on Mixer and possibly also Twitch. That will depend. I will leave a link to my Mixer channel and my Twitch channel in the comments section below, or in the description section below. I also have another channel that I may be posting the games to depending on how things go as well. So be sure to check all those out if you want to actually watch me play the game and not just make stuff from the game. But for now, I'm glad that it's done, and I'll be glad to be able to enjoy my new game when it comes out on the 13th. And that's all for this Borderlands 3 inspired video. So without any further ado, let's make some mayhem.